Happy Saturday, everyone, and welcome to Variety and Errors, where we go through pocket change and look for things worth more than face value. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, liking, and getting notifications to the channel for each video coming out. I'm trying to put them out as quickly as I can, but let's get right to it. So we'll start off with the Series 2013 $1 note. So as you can see, I got a bunch of different stuff. We'll just kind of shoot through it. I'll talk about what to look for, so on and so forth. Now, first thing I like to look for on any bill, really, when I bill search is through the serial number. See if one, very rarely, but see if they match up, if there's any patterns in them, things of that nature, if there's anything like that, just with the serial number itself. Then I like to look at first I like to look at overall conditions, so let me backtrack a little bit. Just like with anything, when you collect comics, vinyls, cards, whatever, militaria, condition's one thing that really comes into play, as you know. And then aside from that with bills, then I like to look at the serial numbers. That's probably the most collectible thing for people, is a fancy serial number or a pattern in the serial number. And then outside of that would be print issues, lack of ink, actual errors with the bill paper or the actual print itself. Say if something got into the print, something didn't get printed, so on and so forth. But I don't see anything here on the front of this note. It's very beat up as well, so we'll kind of, move right along from there. Here we go, nice little star note, and it's a date note. So birthday notes are very sought after. Obviously, no one in 1363 is alive still, but this is a great example. So let's say it was 1963. For example, I have a friend whose dad was born in 1963. Then if his birthday was September 15th, then this would be a great note, although it's really beat up, but it's a cool note to get framed and give to them for their birthday, or just give it to them for their birthday. People do that a lot with any denomination, especially $2 bills. But I love star notes. This one's really beat up, but I still love me a good star note. It's only $1, so I'm going to hold on to that guy. Next bill, another 2013 note. Nothing in the serial number, although I do see a slight shift up here. It's very small on the 5 and the 4 there. I like to call those ticker or odometer bills because they kind of roll up like you can see there, but it's better if it's just the last digit. But still cool. I'm not going to hold on to it, but if it was really shifted on those digits, then I definitely would. We've come across quite a few bills. If you look through just a simple search on my videos for odometer bills, then I have a video where we came across one of those. 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s. So that's cool, but I mean, at the most, I would only keep a trinary note, which is a repetition of 3 digits in the serial number. And like I've always said, that's a little more collectible than valuable. Now this one's got some damage too. It looks like it was wet and pressed up against some jeans or something like that to make that pattern. So nothing there. $5 note, definitely cool. I like 2013. This is a 2013. I like the newer 5s post redesign after the early 2000s. I think just the graphic enhancements are great. They also did a lot of anti-counterfeiting additions to the bill, along with other denominations aside from the $1 note and the $2 note. But 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, and 100s all got a redesign, now pushing almost 20 years ago. But still pretty cool. Nothing there, though. Next, another $5 note. Also Series 2013 on this bad boy. Now, things to kind of look for on $5 notes is once they did the redesign, you'll get some blurring up here by Lincoln's head. Not in this case, but up here by Lincoln's head. Another thing is I've been asked about various little kind of symbols and stuff on the bill, like this little guy here, and of course on a $1 note, which I'll pull back this one, the little spider that's hiding out right there. Those are on notes. Those are on every one of these notes, so it's not something to think it's like a funky object that's got into the printing process and just made its way onto the bill. So just to answer that question, nothing here. Almost another date note, if this wouldn't have been 36 and say 26, to be June 26, 1525. But hey, it is what it is. This one here also has kind of a little bit of over ink, as you can see that larger 5 there. but it's not dramatic enough for me to hold on to on this series 2013 $1 note. And nothing on the back. Next bill, 2013 as well. It's going to be the most common. I think in the next year or two we'll see more commonly 2017 bills. Marks like this on your bills are not collectible. They detract from value. So this mark out right here, for whatever reason, just detracts from the quality of the bill. So if it was collectible, which in this case it's just a $1 note, then that would definitely take away from value. Now here we have like what I like to call a double date note. On double date notes, those are interesting. I do like double date notes. In this case, it's 1746 and 1032. I can't think of anything that happened in that quite a long of a span, really, 700 years between those two dates. But I will look up anything of key historical value for those dates and put it in the description box. So if you're into history, that's just a little tidbit I like to throw in, but it doesn't add to value. Now we do have a little bit of splotching of ink here with these little dots. That's pretty common when it comes to bills. They are wet when they stack them together from the BEP. And so some little things get transferred. For instance, like these little dots here on this corner, which you can't see because I'm not holding the bill properly. But those are also press-throughs from the serial number on the front, so that's not something to jump for joy about. Next bill, 2013 $5 note as well. So we got a few fives in this search. I think I saw another one earlier, a couple of them. So that's cool. Got a little more pocket change than normal, which is nice. Gives us more to search through. Nothing in the serial number as far as pattern or fancy serial number. I don't see any shifts, although this seal is shifted slightly to the right. Normally it's sitting a little further over on this F that says for 5. But unless it's sitting real low, real high, but if it's in the confines of the word 5, then you're good to go there. So not a shifted print. And you can tell from the color of this little schmudgel here that that's actually just a pen mark. It's not anything that has to do with the ink of the bill. Nothing there on that stain. 2013 note, nothing in the serial number. H is for St. Louis, Missouri. $1 notes haven't changed since '57, so they added these words here. But aside from that, they're not... there's no changes to talk about graphically. Another 2013 note, and like any other, the only graphic differences between $1 bills and just bills in general, but in specific here with $1 notes, is the signatures are the only thing that changes due to transitions in position of Secretary of Treasury and Treasury of the United States. So that's to answer that. Got a lot of pen marks on this guy. You can see the fibrous materials really well in this. But that's not something to add any value. That's just what they make the bills out of. This little funky over ink here on this 2013 on the 9. A long time ago, I was like, oh, cool, like a minor ink error. But it's in fact not something that I really hold on to. It's very common. It's just a little excess of ink from the printing process. Now, we do see a lot of over inks, which oddly we haven't seen. Here we go. Okay, so a little bit of an over ink on that 9, usually heavier than that. But in this case, not so much. But that's something that happens very often, and I wouldn't say is massively in error. Now here we have another date note. So September 19th, so oddly, also in September, but September 19th, 261. Like I said, birthday notes are more the value, more the collectability, more something that's something, if I can speak right, more of something that people would want to buy from you, trade, or come across. In this case, obviously nobody's been alive that long, at least unless they're a vampire or something. So still interesting if you come across date notes that are of significant historical value, like one that's in 1776 or something like that for American notes. So something to look for. Another series 2013 5. So like I said, we actually had a few 5s. So here's another one. Cool. All right. So nothing in the serial number on that. Other things to look for too is some misprints occur right in the back here with this background image of the Great Seal with the eagle. Definitely depiction, great graphics and detail in that, but you will get some blurring if it's not printed overall. Another really cool thing we saw in the Facebook group, Variety Errors, Coins, and Currency, was a green seal. It seemed to be a misprint or a lack of ink error, but check that out on the Facebook page. Join the Facebook page if you're not a part of it yet. Here we go, older one. So here's a 1995 one. And we almost had a broken ladder. 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wish there was an 8 in there. But kind of cool. I mean, like I said, there's no difference in graphic changes. That broken ladder would be something you'd look for. We were close, but no cigar there. And it's a 95 note. Something to talk about too is on some $1 notes, older $1 notes, you can get mule notes. If you're interested in those, then check out my video on mule notes. Or do a simple Google search if you're like, what the heck is that? Then you can look it up. Go to varietyerrors.com. We have a whole thing on mule notes there on our website. Now there is kind of an interesting over ink here, but now that I'm looking a little closer at it, it's a pen mark. So, but you probably noticed it too right here that maybe there was some stray ink. Unfortunately, not the case. I did hold on to two things though, which was that date note star and regular date note or double date note. $10 notes, same deal. They went through a redesign a few years back, but nothing's changed since then. They're talking about redesigning bills in the 2020s, but we haven't seen anything with that. There was some talks of removing people from different bills, adding other historical figures. There's a big push to get a female historical figure on a bill, which I think is great. I don't know whether they'll remove somebody or whatever they'll do, but the actual depictions on bills have not changed, so, haven't changed in a long time, so that's something to consider. Here's that over ink on that $1 bill, or $1 note. Something that I think is just really common. I wouldn't say to hold on to it. We're down to the nitty-gritty, the last 3 bills, so I'll kind of shoot through them since you've heard me talk enough today on this wonderful Saturday bill search. Nothing in the serial number. Got a little stray mark here, but you can tell from the way, let's see if I can get really close. Kinda, there we go. So that's actually a stray ink mark. You can see that sheen, but it's not dramatic enough like an ink smear for me to hold on to or to find value over face value, but it's still something to look out for. Last 2, nice beat up $1 note. Nothing in the serial number. It's 2009, so that's the only one that we've come across from that series, which is cool. Nothing there. And last but not least, good repetition a little bit. I wish we would have had a 6 or a 4 instead of that 7 getting in there, but that whatever. And nothing in the serial number. Little bit of a press through here on the back, but not enough for me to call home about, and this is just some food or something. So what did we keep? Minor bill. You can kind of read it one of two ways. Either it's a double date note with 2 years being 9/19 and 0 and then 261, or you can have it as September 19, 261. I'll look that up. I'll put it in the description box, but like I said, minor find. And then something I'll definitely hold on to, although very beat up, is this star note. I absolutely adore star notes. Star notes are great. I know they're not necessarily the most valuable thing ever unless they're collectible date, but in this case, I just like star notes and it's only $1. So I'll add it to the old star note stack. Let me know what you've come across in your bill searches. Hopefully you've come across a lot more rare of finds than these 2 little guys here. Let me know and I will talk to you in the comments. Otherwise, have a wonderful weekend. I hope your Halloween was wonderful, and I'm looking forward to much, much more videos with you. Thank you so much for the support, and I will see you in the next one. See you later.